Welcome to the Becoming Body Smart podcast, where we unlock the secrets of sustainable health and fitness and help you master your health habits. If you're tired of quick fixes, generic blueprints, and chasing short-term results, you're in the right place. It's time to become Body Smart.
Welcome in. All right, sorry. Just getting everybody invited and welcomed in. Excited to talk a little bit today about AI and your health. So how to use AI to benefit your health. It's a really interesting topic. There's so many applications here, so incredibly many. So we're just going to touch on a few. So we'll try to go through each of the 5 patterns and see what can we do to use AI to help us with the patterns. And we'll see how many of them we get through. We may not be able to get through everything today. So Marc's got an interesting one that I think will, that many of you will like. And we're just using ChatGPT basic free edition. So nothing crazy, nothing like inaccessible. So the key is how you use the prompts. So the prompt you use is everything, and being as specific as possible is everything. And then just giving it feedback when it pumps something out. And so we're going to take you through the process we did to create a month's worth of a plant-based meal plan that includes recipes, that includes shopping lists, everything, to get a plant-based meal plan from ChatGPT so that you can just like use that to help you find out what you do and don't like and help you, get started. If that's something you want to try, interesting way to do it and get some help. So there are lots of ways. So I love this idea of using the technology to benefit us. There's so many different possible applications there. So Marc is going to share his screen. So I've got a question for each of you as we're getting Marc set up and getting him on here to be able to share a little bit more with us about how to use ChatGPT and just AI in general to help us out. So Marc, what brought this up actually was Marc said, did you know that there's an AI engine for helping you, like you put in the ingredients that you have and it'll pump out a recipe for you? And I was like, well, yeah, allrecipes.com has been able to do that for a really long time. That if you put in the ingredients, it'll give you a recipe for that. And I was like, yeah, so they've actually had that, whether it was AI or just a database that was doing that. They've had that technology for quite a while. But how cool is that we can use AI to help us find what recipes we have based on the food? And so we were kind of discussing that, and it turned into like, what are the other applications that we could do? And could we create an entire meal plan based on just AI? And like as soon as we had the question, it was like, well, obviously it could. We just have to give it the right prompts to filter out. So like maybe you don't like mushrooms. Marc doesn't like mushrooms. So you could have it not include mushrooms in all of the recipes. Or there may be foods that you do like. Or like I want to eat meat twice a week, but not every day. Or things like that. And you can include all of that and it'll create that meal plan just for you. And so pretty incredible what it's capable of doing.
Some technical difficulties.
Marc's having some
screen.
Why does it need to record your screen? I'm recording it.
Or to share.
Oh.
Or to present.
So anyway, super excited about this though, that we were able to figure that out pretty simply. And it's just about asking the right question to yourself of saying, oh, I think I could have ChatGPT do this for me. And then asking ChatGPT the right question to go down that rabbit hole. And so I'll share with you kind of one of the ones that I did. So I'll hurry and share my screen. I wanted to ask, before I do that, I wanted to ask each of you, what are questions you have for ChatGPT? Is there anything that you would like to see or learn about ChatGPT in terms of solving a question for you for your health and fitness, or just anything in general? We may be able to point you in the right direction. But yeah, would love to know what your questions are regarding AI and using that type of technology to answer your questions, solve your problems, etc. So I'll show you an example to just kind of help wake up your mind to what the possibilities are. So we were going through, okay, like what are the 5 patterns that we could do? And so here we go, sharing my screen here on ChatGPT. I asked it, give me a self-hypnosis script for achieving better sleep. So we were talking about each of the 5 patterns. I was like, sleep, how could we benefit ourselves with sleep? And self-hypnosis is a great way to help you kind of forget about other stressors and things like that and have a good night's sleep. So we asked ChatGPT to give us a self-hypnosis script for achieving better sleep. And it goes right through it. And what you can do is copy and paste this then into an engine that will read out loud for you. And you slow down the speed so that it's slow and quiet. And it will actually, or you can record yourself reading it and then play it back for yourself. Works really well too, because then you can get the timing and pauses better. So some of the steps you would want to pause in between and give yourself a chance to go through it. So it goes through, take a few deep breaths in through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth. Allow yourself to relax with each breath. Close your eyes and focus on the sensation of your breath. So if you went through that, read that slowly, recorded it, and then played it back for yourself, that could be something you do every night to help you achieve better sleep. And ChatGPT helped you come up with the script. And it uses other scripts out there in the world to be able to generate that script. Really, really cool, in my opinion. I love that idea of using that technology to benefit us so that we get what we're looking for. So that's one example. Marc, are you ready to share about the recipes?
Let's try it out.
Okay, so here we go. Marc's screen. You got to turn your camera on, I think.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and now
Okay, we can see it.
turn a loop of death. Yep. Okay.
Perfect. Actually,
So
it's
narrate
more-
this for us, Marc.
Yeah. I need my Morgan Freeman voice, like
Mhm.
Kelly Endo.
Mm-hmm.
So, we came up with this initial prompt, and we actually had to tweak it. So, like Cameron said, one of the things about using ChatGPT is it always does exactly what you tell it to do. And so one of the frustrations sometimes people have is you put a prompt in and you're like, no, it didn't do what I wanted it to. And the problem is that ChatGPT cannot read your intentions. It just goes based on what you asked it to do. And so this is part of that trial and learning process, is learning to ask better questions and to tweak the prompts so that you're actually getting the output that you're looking for.
And to be very specific and very explicit in what you're looking for.
Yeah. And you can even ask, like, if you're really having trouble describing the thing or getting ChatGPT what you wanted to do, you can ask it, like, what do you think that I'm telling you to do? Or questions like that, so that you can get some insight into maybe some ways to change it. So anyway, we'll go through this. So check it out. We said, build me a 3-week meal plan that's mostly plant-based, incorporating meat only 2 times per week, and then make it 50% protein, and then split the rest between carbs and fats, and then shoot for an 1,800 calorie goal, divide among 3 meals a day. So we got just that, right? So week 1, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The way that it did it was that it actually split it equally between each meal. And so we went through for all 3 weeks, did a great job of giving us specific meals. And they said, okay, and notice that there's a bunch of days with smoothies for breakfast. So can we change that? So we said, do it again, avoid smoothies and liquid calories, and then allow for more calories at dinner. So it changed that. So it took out the liquid calories, but see what it did here. So it gave us more calories at dinner, but now it's hitting 2,000 calories instead of the 1,800 calories a day that we asked for.
Oops.
So that meant, okay, we need to update the prompt again. So great, do that again, but keep it at 1,800 per day, more calories to dinner. So it did it again, and exactly what we wanted. So we had 500 for breakfast, 500 for lunch, and then 800 for dinner. If you wanted to say, like, hey, I really want a big meal at dinner, I love doing those, then you'd say, hey, like, maybe 1,000 or 1,200 calories or something like that for my dinner meal based on what you're shooting for.
So you would just have to very explicitly say how many calories you want for each meal.
Yeah, exactly. So then we talked about, okay, well now can we get a meal plan for that? Or can we get recipes with that? We already got the meal plan, so you got to ask it specific. Can I have a detailed recipe? If you just ask it for a recipe, we found with some other prompts that it's very basic. Like,
right. So we went through it. That's the thing with ChatGPT is it's this trial and error, like Mark was talking about. So we had some prompts that didn't quite give us what we wanted, and you just have to keep at it and re-ask the question in a different way.
And eventually, like when you get good at doing this, what I could have done for this example is just gone through with my initial prompt and put it all together, and then...
Right. So there's this way of doing it, like we're doing it, where you just keep refining it, or you can go back and change the initial prompt and keep doing it that way, where you change that initial prompt till you get what you want. And we can kind of go back through and build that initial prompt and try it again and see. But then we can take that and say, okay, perfect. There's our prompt, and we can use this every so often to go back and build another month's meal plan once we get the prompt right.
Yeah.
And refine it, like with foods we do and don't like. Like, hey, I don't love tofu, avoid tofu this time, right? So let's see, we got a few comments rolling in. It says, honestly, I've never even thought about it. So Lori, ChatGPT is super powerful, and there are so many areas that it can help. So it's interesting to kind of go down that rabbit hole of how can I have ChatGPT help me solve this. Nathan, we're on the same wavelength. Nathan says, have it read it back in the voice of Sean Connery. I love it. My very first thought was, I want it to read it back to me in the voice of James Earl Jones.
That is hilarious.
Oh, so powerful and fun. It really is fun. I love this idea. I wonder if you could ask it to use specific websites that I know, like that I like recipes from. I'm sure you could. You probably could put in the URL of find recipes from this
Carl's
website.
Bad Cravings.
Carl's Bad Cravings. Yeah, if you want healthy recipes, yeah.
Accurate.
Right. All of a sudden, Mark balloons up to 400 pounds, and we've created a monster with recipes that there was no animal products used in these cookies.
Hilarious.
Plant-based diet doesn't always mean healthy. I'm on a liquid diet until surgery. Oh no, maybe it'll help me hit my macros with smoothies. Exactly.
Yeah.
So you could come up with a bunch of different smoothie recipes so that you're not just drinking the same thing all day, every day.
Yeah.
It gives you some variety there so that you can enjoy your food instead of it just being drudgery when you can get that variety. And so that way you don't have to think of it yourself. You can use a powerful technology engine to help you come up with it. Anyway, let's go back to this.
Yeah, so there's a couple areas that I wanted to hit. So we got all those. Now we wanted recipes for all of those. So that's what I asked, detailed recipes, and it went out, right? So 1 block of this, 1 tablespoon of this, right? Very specific, and the instructions too. Like I said, the first time we did this, it just listed out a bunch of stuff, and I went, well, that wasn't helpful at all.
Right.
Put this stuff in. Okay, how much?
Yeah, how much of each one, and yeah. So he noticed that he was very specific with the prompt in like a meal plan for 4 people. So it has to be enough to feed 4 people.
Yep. And then if we go down here, we got all these different recipes. And then the next thing we asked, great, can you give me a detailed shopping list? So detailed shopping list, but I wasn't specific enough. Right, so it gave me what I needed, but not the quantities. So he said, all right, great, can you do that again, but give me specific amounts of each item? And now here we have it. And it lists it by what it is. So what are the proteins? What are the grains? What are the vegetables? So this is one thing that, like ChatGPT just did this in asking a detailed shopping list. I didn't have to say by area, but that was actually really helpful.
Yeah, that's, I mean, when you're shopping, to know, like, these are all the things I have to get in the fruits area. These are all the things I need to get in the grains area. That's a great way to organize your list that we didn't have to do.
Yep. And so just super nice, right? And you can see there's a variety of fruits, right? We got bananas and peaches and a variety of grains and vegetables. And so,
yeah.
And that's something, again, to play around with, right? We were talking about wheat berries with someone this morning, and they're like, I'd never heard of that.
Never even heard of a wheat berry.
And then there are 2 recipes with wheat berries.
Right.
So there you go. If you want to give wheat berries a try, you can have them include more of that.
Yeah. So I mean, again, the possibilities here are endless. Yeah. So anyway, let's bring it back to our faces.
And then one thing I was going to tell, this is for Christy's comment, Precision Nutrition actually has it's like their super shake recipe or something like that. They just have a kind of a guide, like here's a bunch of bases you can use, here's a bunch of other things, and kind of a create your own smoothie that tends to be fairly healthy. So I like their stuff. So you might check that out. I can drop a link in Geneva later. What did Shannon say?
So Shannon said, I just watched a tutorial
That's
about
right.
ChatGPT, and it likes validation. When you say please and thank you, and you say, so like Mark was saying, great, now, do this. It's funny how it responds better to that. It's a little creepy.
Because Shannon told me that, and I was like, okay, how can I make this ChatGPT feel good today?
So I wonder if it doesn't like it if you're mean to it. Like, you stupid machine, do better if it like.
It just puts your name on a list for the robot uprising.
I don't know when Amazon releases a product called what is it called? The joke's not funny now. I can't think of it. From Terminator.
Oh, Skynet.
Skynet. Yeah. When Amazon releases a product called Skynet, I'm moving off grid. I'm leaving the technology world and going off grid. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so just the uses are really tremendous, what you can do with it. So same ideas with some of the other patterns. Create me a gratitude list of things that I can be grateful for, or things like that you can go through and check off and think about. So like this is your ponder list, and ponder about all the different things. So if you have a hard time coming up with those things of like what are the things that I'm grateful for, ChatGPT could create the list for you, and then
everything
you ponder.
I like.
Well, sometimes it's just hard to come up. Like when we've done this as our family, so we did this 2 different times, but we did it for the whole year. Every night we'd come together as a family, and we always do, not always, that's maybe a little exaggerated, but it was easier when our kids were younger, but read scriptures, say prayers, and then often we'll have kind of another side thing that we do, like a gratitude journal or things like that. So 2 different years we've tried to keep a gratitude journal for the whole year. And it got really tough to come up with things that we were grateful for. And so instead, what if you use that as a meditation time and you come up with what are things that I should be grateful for, and then you could go through and check those things off as you ponder that thing, whether or not you are grateful for it, what you're grateful for about it, or things like that. It could give you like a ponder list. But things to help prompt you to express that gratitude and feel that gratitude, things like that. There are just so many uses.
So I'm gonna
go to another one. So we've done sleep, gratitude, and happiness, and obviously our eating pattern. Obviously, are you looking at exercise pattern?
I am.
Okay, exercise pattern is one we talked about. Yeah, we're eliminating ourselves from the equation, stealing our own job with this. But obviously, you could with the exercise pattern say, create me a workout plan. Are you going to share your screen?
Yes, but it's not.
It's not liking you again.
Not liking
you got to turn your camera on.
Oh, that's right.
So a workout plan, what we talked about was, you can design a workout plan, there's Mark, that allows you to plan for the unexpected. So when you go on vacation, for example, and you're like, where I'm going to be, I'm not going to have very much equipment. I'm staying at a bed and breakfast that doesn't have a gym, and it's in an area where I don't know what the roads are going to be like, so I don't know if I can run and things like that, and I'll be in meetings all day, so I'm not sure what to do with myself. Here's what you can do. You can say, ChatGPT.
Okay. So this one, same principle. The prompt that I chose was create me a 3-day bodyweight workout routine for when I'm on a weekend vacation. And so again, it could be anything like that. Or I have a meeting, whatever it is. And so this is really nice. It gave full body workout, cardio and core.
So he said include a warm-up. What was the full prompt?
So I actually gave it a really short prompt for this one. It was just create me a 3-day bodyweight workout for when I'm on a weekend vacation.
Okay.
And so this is something that it did on its own. And so again, this is something to play around with. Maybe it's like, you know what, I want to hit full body every day.
It told you, remember to warm up and cool down. Wow, that's amazing.
Yep. And so that's what it has. So day 1, full body workout. Day 2, cardio and core. Day 3, upper body focus. And then I love this. Remember to listen to your body, modify exercises needed, and stay hydrated.
See, it's going to eliminate us.
It's gonna take us out.
Take our job. But it's really pretty good. Honestly, when you look through that's a pretty good workout. And honestly, you probably could prompt it to say, if you had the full version, to say, give me images of each exercise to follow along with, and it would.
But again, just a really
amazing.
Like, one of the things that's so nice about this is just in terms of, again, ideas, right? Can I come up with some more ideas for what to do? Because whether it's gratitude or stress or fitness or eating, in the moment, it's like, I don't know, or I'm so stressed, I just can't even think. And so using that as a tool to help you kind of winnow your thinking down and come up with some ideas to implement can be super nice.
Well, so it's all about consistency, right? And so one of the things that frustrates consistency is feeling stuck. I just don't know what to make for meals. I just feel so burnt out or stuck, or, we just get to this log jam in our thinking behind that thing. So like not being able to think of things that we're grateful for or that we're happy for or happy about. That's a great way. So stressors. For stressful things, you can kind of do that same thing. I asked it earlier to give me a breathing exercise. So give me a 10-minute breathing exercise that I can do to help calm my thoughts when I'm feeling stressed out. And it did. It gave me, again, kind of like the hypnosis, it gave me a step-by-step guide of the prompts that I would read myself to do a breathing exercise to be able to calm back down. So whether it's stress, whether it's not sleeping well, whether it's looking for things that we're grateful for, whether it's exercise patterns or programs for when we're on vacation, or a meal plan for the entire month, including shopping lists and everything, like it can really help you out. It can replace our job in so many ways. But what a neat opportunity you have to use that technology and be able to benefit yourself when you are feeling stuck. So it's a great way. And maybe we should post this in the I'm Stuck thread, some of the prompts that we used, so that if you're feeling stuck, you can use those. I like that idea. So let's pin those.
I'm gonna share one more. So I did this just
barely.
Just barely.
Yeah.
So
share screen or
yep. Share screen. Okay.
Here we go.
So I asked, I'm struggling with sleep. Give me a checklist to problem solve this. So
wow.
Here's the thing: establish a consistent sleep schedule. What's my sleep environment like? Is my bedroom dark, quiet, and cool? What am I doing with screens? What's my diet like? Am I eating a lot really close before bedtime? What's stress looking like? Is my mattress and pillow okay? Am I napping a lot? And then, hey, are there some underlying health issues? Just some ideas for what to check. And again, going back to that idea of what are some ways to...
That's amazing.
Yeah, it really is amazing. But again, how do I just problem solve this? And what are maybe some areas that I hadn't even thought of that might be affecting this area, right? Oh, yeah, you know what? Like, I do tend to eat, a big bag of chips before bedtime, and maybe that, or like I drink a huge glass of water. Or, you know what? Yeah, I usually end up bringing my computer into bed, and I'm watching Netflix till whatever. Are there just some things that are maybe getting in the way?
Yeah, and it gets a little scary because you're like, well, is this turning into a care provider? It's blurring some lines there for sure. But I love what it said. It said when I did the prompt for the self-hypnosis, it says, I am not a licensed therapist, but can offer you general self-hypnosis, a general self-hypnosis script. Then at the bottom, if you have any existing health conditions or concerns, it is advisable for you to speak with a healthcare professional. And then the end, it said, like, individual experiences with self-hypnosis may vary, and you should consult with a healthcare professional or certified hypnotherapist for personalized guidance. I love that it's still, like, one of my biggest frustrations with people kind of stepping outside of their scope of practice is when they do so, they don't own that and tell you, hey, I'm stepping outside of the scope of my practice, but this is something I've personally studied, but you should consult somebody. Like, that step alone, that ChatGPT is doing that and letting you know, like, hey, this is just based on general information, not specific to your case. And if you need more specific information, go here, but this is something to try. I like that because it's being real with you. It's not saying we're going to solve all your problems. It's not snake oil and smoke and mirrors. It does a pretty good job at saying what it can and can't do for you. So as long as it stays within those boundaries, I think it's actually a really, really helpful tool.
Yeah. Well, and I think just applying some basic filters to that, taking it with a grain of salt, and then just like, this isn't necessarily, this is gospel truth, this is for sure fact, but it's like, you know what? This seems like it could be really helpful.
Right. It's great for sourcing ideas. Yeah.
And certain things, it's going to be probably more accurate with that, right? Like, okay, give me a meal plan, right? That there's not like, well, okay, here's the foods that are in this recipe, right. And so it's probably going to be a little bit less out there for some things.
Well, and it'll even tell you when you're looking for research articles or things like that. I've had it data mine research articles for me, and they'll say it doesn't have anything after September 21st of 2021 was the last time that because it takes some time for things to like get posted online, get into its system, into its database, and things like that. So it will tell you the last date up to which its information is up to date about that topic, even, which is pretty cool. So it won't always have the most up to date stuff right away, but it's real about that. It lets you know that.
Right.
So
and it's getting better.
Right? It's getting better. It's an amazingly powerful engine. So really fun stuff. Hopefully that was a helpful exercise in being able to see the potential of ChatGPT. And we really are limited by the quality of the questions that we ask. So play around with it enough that you can ask better questions. With kids in school, I'm all about letting them use it as much as possible because it's going to be the future of things. That's how we're going to get work done. Just like they told us we wouldn't have a calculator everywhere we go, or it's not like you can carry an encyclopedia with you. False. Wow. I can actually carry the entire world's body of knowledge since the beginning of time in my pocket now, and a massively powerful calculator anywhere I go. So, and now with ChatGPT, I can ask it my math questions and it'll answer them for me with showing its work. And so it's pretty amazing what it can do now. And so I would say let's lean into that and let it help us get ahead rather than being afraid of it and not utilizing this powerful resource and not letting our kids and ourselves learn how to fully maximize it. Yeah. And we really just scratched the surface of what it can do, right? And there's lots of places online you can look for how do I ask better questions, right? What are some prompts to use for XYZ? I mean, you could even ask ChatGPT, right? What are some better prompts I can use? Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, really, this is it's the tool of the future, right?
Yeah. AI, we're just barely getting into it. It really has only been around for a little while, in its current form anyway. And I think we're going to see it really explode and change our lives. Yeah.
So, if you have any questions, let us know. We may or may not be able to answer them, but it's something we'll look into. And if there's, utility that you found in using ChatGPT for health, fitness, things like that, any of these 5 patterns, drop it in Geneva. Let us know what you're learning.
Please put that in the wins or I'm stuck or even in the general conversation anywhere. But if you find something that really works for you in terms of a prompt that you're like, oh, this totally solved this problem, please share it with the group. That'd be awesome. Okay. Thanks so much. We enjoy sharing these kind of new things with you. We'll see you on the next call on Thursday again at 11 o'clock. See you then.
Thanks for listening to the Becoming Body Smart podcast. If you have questions, thoughts, or want to continue the conversation, reach out to us on our socials or join our community. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It helps us bring you even more valuable content. Remember, sustainable health is a lifelong journey, and we're here to support you every step of the way. Live longer, live stronger, and become body smart.